I know we dropped a lot of information to everybody a couple days ago in the earnings call, and I thought it would be good to follow up with a little bit more information, some visuals, some videos, some illustrations of what we talked about. This is a die plate. Every extruder's got one. The extruder will melt the polymer, it'll push the molten polymer through this die plate, and it'll go through all these little holes. There's like 279 of them. And it'll push the polymer through those holes, squeeze it out the back end, and then cut it into pellets. Every extruder works the same way. The problem that we've been having is those little adsorbent beads, they would get into those holes and they would block the polymer from going through. And every time that happened, it would make the pelletizing step just not work. It took us quite a while to figure it out because we thought there was construction debris and we thought we had parameters on the extruder that we had to change to make it work more properly. But in the end, when we finally got to the right answer, it was beads. Now, when we learned that, we came up with several ideas on how to fix it or be inventive with managing it, trying to get some life out of the production. And we came up with this. We basically have a screen and we put it inside the die plate. Now nobody does this because it just doesn't make sense at all to have a screen like this to prevent plugging. But if you don't have a screen changer, this was our only option. And to be honest with you, it worked, and it proved that it was a bead problem all along. The problem is that after we ran for a while, that screen would get loaded with beads and it would create too much pressure on the back side of the die plate and the extruder would not be able to run. So we thought about how to extend the life of this. We thought the beads would eventually clear up. The reality is it just doesn't take many beads to create a problem. So we tried a couple of other things. This is another good example of a dome screen cap that we put on the inside of the die plate right here to try to get more life because it'll have more surface area to catch beads, but it just didn't quite work because it wasn't strong enough. Now, the good news about all of this is we know this worked. We know that when we put a screen in here, the pelletizer ran really well. And so when we get the automatic screen changer installed, that will be better.